Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
I'm Michael Varrati.
And I'm Brett White, and we are here to talk about one of the most underrated REM songs of all time with Kate Pearson on guest vocals, Shiny Happy People. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this, just like they don't like Stand, but I think both songs are great. And Shiny Happy People is a banger. So that's...
I agree.
What else we got to say?
Though Michael Stipe seems to be in the camp of haters, ironically enough. I've heard many stories of him not enjoying this.
Kate Pearson's voice just comes on, and it's like, oh, this is just, it's queer joy. I love it.
Wait, is that true that Michael Stipe doesn't love the song?
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah, there's a story, and I did not come prepared for this anecdote, so that somebody out there can fact check this. But I think there's a story where some talk show host was complaining about their dislike of the song on air, and then had an awkward encounter with Michael Stipe at a restaurant. But the big kind of reveal of the story is Michael Stipe's like, I laughed because I hate Shiny Happy People too. And that may not be 100% accurate, but like, what is on the internet these days? Good luck, everybody.
I always think about that a lot with, like, there are a lot of Buffy fans that are of our age, maybe a little bit older, who will like still bring up something that was said on like a posting board 30 years ago, and I'm like, but I know that's not true. Like, I know for a fact that's not true.
We now can fact check. We now can do our own research.
I had someone argue with me that they insisted Amber Benson posted on the message boards that she was hired as a one-off character to die, and that they fell into her being Willow's girlfriend. And I was like, oh no, that must be a rumor because that's not what they have said. The person who argued with me was like, well, I've met them at cons and they've said it is true. And I was like, I have interviewed plenty of them and it is not true. Like,
give me the recordings. Where are the receipts?
Yeah, like I have her on record saying that is not what happened. But yes, we are here to talk Angel Season 4, the beginning. Well, last episode was the teaser of it. This is the beginning of the Jasmine arc.
Begin. How many REM song titles can I work into?
That was by accident. I don't know that song, but Michael and Brett, you like the Jasmine arc too, right? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing with season 4 is that when it was airing, when I was a freshman in college, I loved it. I loved the entire season. I thought it was a roller coaster ride, and I just was like, it was like edge of my seat. What are they going to do next? So by the time you get to Jasmine, I'm like, hey, yeah, let's do this. So
exactly, yeah.
Michael, tell me about your thoughts on Jasmine, because I'm trying to hope I get sold on it when we get through the arc, but I
don't think that's possible.
Well, I think that Jasmine, in a lot of ways, is the antithesis of what you would expect from the foregone horror conclusion of the demonic pregnancy storyline. Yeah. I think that when you consider all of the media that has come before, The Omen, Shades of the Exorcist, all of these satanic sort of stories, when someone is impregnated by the beast, we expect the beast. And so when Jasmine is birthed and becomes this divine being, it's the flipping of the script. It's exactly the thing that you don't expect. You're expecting Satan and you get God. But God is presented as villain. And I think that this is a really, really interesting like, I don't know what the exact phrase I want to use here is, but it's an interesting pivot for Angel, but the Buffy universe in general, because in a lot of ways, this is the kind of big bad we have not seen thus far. We've seen shades of godlike and divine entities throughout Buffy and Angel, but here's someone who arrives and instantly puts everyone at ease, brings peace. Everyone's happy. They're shiny, happy people. But we as viewer know that's wrong. Something is wrong with this. And even before the reveal at the end of the episode, when Fred sees like this Fulci zombie face on Jasmine, there is this kind of just sense of building dread out of joy, which is a very strange thing. But I think it's a really great commentary on the pitfalls of religion, because you have this character who everybody is like, well, this makes me feel good, so I'm ignoring it. I'm ignoring what is obviously in front of me. Everybody is giving up their autonomy because she's nice. This character is the definition of that Stephen Sondheim lyric, nice is different than good. She's nice and they love her. She's not good, but it doesn't matter to the people who are in her thrall. And I think that that is both like a simplified embroidered pillow version of what Jasmine is, but also like a really great commentary on cult mentality, on religious
Mm-hmm.
cult mentality. And we never really got that. Every villain up until this point is from the darkness, is from, hell, or is a demon, or is a beast, or is some manner of ancient, like Lovecraftian sort of god. But this is, in a lot of ways, an angelic Judeo-Christian light. And I think that it's really interesting that the Whedon universe is like light can be bad too.
The weird thing is like seeing your heroes go through that, because that's what I was. I don't know. Like the first half of this episode is kind of like a slog, and then as soon as Fred comes out of it, all of everything that you were just saying, Michael, like is illuminated. I think we just needed like someone to be on the outside. So I don't know if that's kind of the Jasmine arc can be a slog, just because it's weird seeing all your faves, start being super Jesus-y.
I think that's also, I am so like religion averse. And I know that you are right, Michael. This isn't saying like it's good, but we still have to sit through the it's good part to get to the like, oh yeah, we're telling you it's bad.
Yeah, but I think the genius of it as viewer, whether you like the storyline or like what's happening to Angel and Co., Gina Torres is so easy to watch, right? Like
she's great, yeah.
I like her. And that's what's infuriating about it is like, I get it. Like, I don't want to fall into the trap, but like, she's like, oh, everything's going to be all right. And she's beautiful. And she's just like saying all the right things. And I'm like, oh my God, this Up With People tape is doing it for me. Like, whatever is happening here. And so I think that's the insidious thing about this episode is you meet her and she's bad. There's no question, if you were a home viewer watching this, that this is a bad character. But she's presented so warm that you're like, I'm enjoying it. It's like much like we enjoy Glory being just like Hell's Bells.
Yeah.
It's sort of like there's something delicious about having a character who is the evil equivalent of a warm hug,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the way that you are like framing it, because I like all those things. I like all the like subversions. I think what does it for me is that I cannot tolerate people that like, so Gina Torres is great, but like the cadence, the speech pattern, the verbiage she uses all like set off my like, they make me like arch like a cat and want to hiss. And so there's never a moment where I'm like, oh yeah, this is like, even if she's selling it, I'm like, but I fucking hate you. Like last episode I compared it to, did any of the review keep up with Yellow Jackets?
No, I mean, I read recaps because I've edited them.
The Lottie character, who we meet adult Lottie, I hated her so much because she was very like woo-woo LA lady who like uses a lot of spiritual verbiage, and I just could not even get behind that character for one fucking second, because I find those, even the like spiritual, not religious, really like that even like sets off my like shoulders, where I'm like, but this is going to lead to something bad. You're going to be anti-vax or like something. Yeah. So I think that's why Jasmine, one of the main reasons she doesn't work for me is because Gina Torres is nailing it, playing that type of person.
It sounds like she's doing a great job.
Yeah, she's like doing a great job.
It's freaking you out.
Yeah, and it's just like repels me. And then to see Angel and Co., and for me, what I already consider like a lackluster season before and after Faith, I'm like, oh, now they're just like different characters that are like bowing. Because this first half of this episode was real rough for me to get through. I like would notice myself not paying attention and have to like go back to be like, well, I need to take some notes on this. So I don't know, but I mean, again, the thing that I don't think anyone would argue with is Gina Torres is fantastic, and she is. And I said this last episode too. It's like, the one thing Joss was good at is knowing when his actors were good. So it's like, oh, well, my one show that was really popular got canceled. Let's bring the two main actors who were really fantastic. Let me put them in my other two shows, because sure, why not, right?
Yeah, and I think what you're describing, especially like being skeeved out, is no different than when we watch like a true crime documentary about Nexium or Jonestown or Heaven's Gate. We see these people falling into the thrall of this leader that we as outsider are like, what the fuck? Like that person is strange and off-putting, but somehow their false benevolence has convinced right-minded people that this is the way to go. And I think it's just really interesting. I mean, this is the closest we're ever going to get in the Buffyverse to like a Jim Jones.
Yeah.
So I think that it's kind of an interesting take.
Yeah.
Especially that is Gina Torres. Imagine Gina Torres coming out in like those glasses, Jim Jones, like dark glasses.
She'd probably still look cute in them.
She'd sell everything. I mean, like, let's be like, for a goddess, for a god, she is dressed so. I wrote in my notes that like this era is where aesthetics went to die. Like she looks like an HGTV host, or she looks like she just like runs a weird store that sells dream catchers in a shopping mall, and you're like, that used to be where the Spencer's Gifts was, and now it's this woman's in there. I don't even know. She's not native. What's going on? Like, like she's dressed, and doesn't she actually? Does she compliment like this outfit is beautiful? It's like it's a sweater set. Like, it's Old Navy.
I do wonder what
I guess it goes to the truth of like it's very Sunday school, Desperate Housewives. It's very of that milieu.
It's toxic positivity, really.
Yeah.
Like her whole thing is like, I'm just gonna be so nice that were it not for some magic spell, any of us would be like, all right, come on. You do not like that sweater. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is fair. I would, now that you mentioned that, Brett, I would be curious to see what the costume designer, like, if they were literally going for that, or like this was supposed to be like casual chic. I don't know. Like, because like you said,
it was an ugly time for fashion because almost everyone, hint, hint, it looks awful. This era. What Lauren is wearing like a disco rainbow shirt under that shiny happy.
But at least with Lauren, it like tracks. Like he loves a bold, bright color.
Oh, also, can I have a Lauren sidebar that has nothing to do with this episode? Not that I'm a big collector of Funko Pops, but how has there never been a Lauren Funko? He is the character most Funko coded. That you just want that little leisure suit with the red eyes and the horns on your desk, and I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Has
marketing
there been
team?
a Fred? Have they made like Fred and Gunn? And have they made Angel ones? I'm assuming.
I don't think so. No, because I think weirdly with the Buffy Funko Pops, I think it's just been like Buffy, Angel, Spike, Willow, Faith, and like a gentleman. I think
I have Sweet.
Oh, did they release this? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like one of those, like, you have to get it from the webpage, and I fell for it. I was like, well, I need that. Click, click.
You're right, because they had a Xander with eye patch that you should only get through, like, whatever. Yeah. But, like, so Jasmine is born. That's how we ended the last episode. We ended it with them bowing. She thanks Cordelia here. Angel holds out his sword because he wants to be punished for trying to kill her, right? And Jasmine says his suffering will all end soon. And then disappears. And then we get our credits.
Yeah. But like, where'd she go?
Yeah. I was wondering that too.
Yeah. When they come back to the hotel, she's just kind of there. Does she just like pop up in the hotel? Also, a hotel's a terrible lair. I'm sorry, we have not talked about this when I've been on the show. Anyway, if you are constantly under siege from monsters and creatures of the night, the last place you want to be is a building with a bunch of empty rooms. Like, that just is the stupidest. Maybe Jasmine just like zapped from there through the opening credits, and she was just hanging out waiting for the continental breakfast, and she's like, now this is what I come. Yeah.
Well, I also like the last time, like times that I've been here, we've talked about like, do any of them actually live in the hotel? Because that's also the weird thing is like a lot of them still have apartments, and like it's like you live in a place with so many rooms.
Like they go to Cordelia's apartment in the previous episode to like get some stuff of hers, and it's like they could all have a floor in this hotel. Like you'd have a whole floor.
All have a floor. Knock down some walls. Like, I
do always think that was a missed opportunity in the show, because it's like, if you're making it a hotel, why don't we like use the space? But they don't really ever
Yeah.
They made it
She'd be
clear it
like
was a
New
set.
Heart.
Yeah.
New Heart with monsters. It's like they're also trying to run a hotel.
Who does live there? We know Angel lives there and Fred lives there.
And they kind of allude to like Gunn and Wes, that Wes moves back to his apartment when he has the like falling out.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think Gunn is supposed to. I don't know. They really never like fully clarify, which should be clear for like people like us that have watched
Right.
these shows.
Well, and that's also like such fodder for such fun stuff.
Yeah.
But this season is so 90 miles an hour. They don't got time for interpersonal stuff, baby. It's plot, 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 plot.
Because we
Monster,
even
monster.
get the like Lila's death scene when she's being chased. They should have used that. Should have been like Helen Shivers being chased through the whole fucking town, through her like
Yeah.
family shop. Like Lila should have been cat and mousing through different rooms, and it's just like she runs down a hallway and then is in a stairwell and then dies.
Also, Lila's death was what, timeline-wise, like 3 days ago or whatever. The whole of season 4 takes place over like a week and a half, it feels like.
It is insane because they mention it this episode, right? Doesn't someone say like it's been a month or like
Yeah.
because as you said, Brett, it is like 90 miles an hour. It is like thing after thing after thing after thing. There's no room for like a pause to have a silly,
like,
wacky
who's
side
done
quest.
laundry? Like,
Yeah.
can someone refill the coffee. Yeah. But like, this is Corey's gone.
Yep.
She's dead. Like, this is like, when this episode opened, I was like, oh yeah, this is
Yep.
the
She's
end of
just
Cordelia.
in
And
a coma.
oh my God, making Charisma Carpenter, it's like, so we've written you out because of things that should get all of us fined or in trouble with HR.
Yeah.
But now we're also going to make you just lay there for episodes and episodes. It's like, imagine quitting, but you still have to come into work and like sit there and do nothing. Like it's so humiliating.
It's so angering, and obviously the behind the scenes of this are well documented. The thing I kept thinking about, there's a line in the movie Soap Dish, which is about soap opera actors, where someone suggests a coma storyline for a character, and another character says, actors don't like to play coma. They feel it limits their range. And I was thinking about that in this scene.
I think like if Cordelia had, I'm trying to think like if all this will stay the same, but Cordelia comes out of the coma in the season finale and is in season 5. Like if, like, does that make this coma little thing? It's the finality of it. It's the like, we just had our last Cordy scenes and we didn't even know they happened.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I get, we get the what is it called? Not the gift, but what's the
You're welcome.
Goodbye, goodbye. You're welcome. Yeah, we get that in season 5.
Which I hate the circumstances, but I do think it's a fantastic send off for Cordelia.
But like to do that, it is, oh baby.
Yeah.
It is such a character ascent, like to take such an iconic character that has been on television for 7 years at this point.
Across 2 shows.
And was the co-lead of the spinoff. When you were like, we want to spin off Buffy, we're like, these are the 2 that we're gonna, like, and then to just fart her away. 'Cause she hasn't even been Cordelia most of this season.
No, and it's so weird because I don't know, even if you're a man-child who is like, wow, you made me mad, wouldn't your like the quality of the thing you're doing take precedent over?
Oh, and never underestimate the contempt of a tantrumy straight man. Like,
Yes.
let's be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Last episode, Dana actually asked, she was like, wait, so how do we wrap this Cordelia up? Because she leaves the show after this, right? And I was like, we just don't wrap it up till she comes back for 1 episode. And Dana was like, so she's just in a coma for the rest of her run? I was like, yeah. We cut to her like laying down a lot.
Where is she in season? Where's her body in season 5? Is she in the hospital?
Yeah,
like I can't remember. I haven't seen your.
When they get the call, they go to a hospital. It's like supposed to be a good hospital that she got put in. And I think there might be a passing line of dialogue, I think, in the finale this season that they say they can get her into like one of the best hospitals.
It's so horrible.
I mean, there's a lot of things. And Michael, both of you actually are like TV experts. So like Lila coming back and then leaving. And then like, I always wonder if a lot of it wasn't just Mr. Man-child behind the scenes, but like network stuff, because it feels weird that they do bring Lila back and then don't. Like, it feels weird to be like, yes, this iconic villain that everyone loved is back. Never mind.
Well, I think it also has to do with the fact that anytime you're a player like that, you are not on a full contract, you know? So some of these folks, once they have completed their fulfillment of episodes, they may have gone off to do something. I mean, I don't know what that actress was doing, but she could have been busy, you know.
Did she get like a series regular role somewhere? What did she
She,
do after Angel?
no, she did say when we interviewed her that she has no idea, that they just did not offer her another contract after that.
Sucks.
And that she was under the impression that she would be coming back because she got killed and then was brought back. And
Who
she
fulfills
was
her role in season 5?
Eve, and she sucks.
I wonder if it was like it's Stephanie Romanov at this point because she's been on for so long. We would have to pay her.
Yeah.
Like, because she's essentially, if we're bumping her up from recurring to regular, like that's instead of just grabbing some.
And I do know that they had
person.
Apparently James Marsters was costly to bring in. So
Yeah.
Anyway, post credits, the gang is at the hotel. I was proud of Fred for like grabbing the knife and being like, oh god damn it, when she sees Connor, because like that is the appropriate reaction to Connor.
To this little shit.
Yeah.
Well, they have all the weird misunderstanding about like Angel talking about the baby being born and just all the like Fred being like what are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
I had forgotten actually that I like that Fred is the focal point of this, because then it makes sense for when she is the one that like is not under this. Like she had been thinking about it prior to the being put under the spell. So it like, I don't know. I appreciated that. I mean, she's supposed to be the smartest one, right? Like she is. That's like her role in the gang. Like her and Wesley are the smart ones, but Wesley's moved a little bit to like guy with a gun.
Yeah.
So she is the smartest. So
he had his throat cut and he was left for dead by all his friends.
As
he's still not over it.
We did get a blackout the sky in this episode.
I think of you all the time, Brett, when they mention it.
God, they say that so fucking much.
It's funny, this sequence, to both of your points, where Angel and Connor are being very evasive. It's sort of a misdirect about what's happened with the baby, what's happened with Cordelia. And I think that had we not seen in the opening credits what happened, it would have been more of a reveal. But this definitely is an example of what you were talking about, where they're stretching some stuff out, because Angel's like really building into the like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm like, yeah, we know because we fucking saw it. Like,
yeah. This and the next episode could have been one episode. Really great episode. I do love next episode. Like I loved when this aired. I loved all the Fred stuff so much, and I honestly think like Amy Acker does some of. I think the reason that I think that she's a great actor might be because of these 2 episodes. Like
she is great when they give her a front-facing role.
Yeah.
Not often do they do it, but when they do it, she like fucking nails it. And
I think that that's not to be underscored with the Jasmine storyline. Is it really allows Fred to come into her own in this universe, because she is at this point in the show and this point in the season the least likely person that if a big bad deity has enthralled everyone, that she's going to be the one that's going to do a thing. So from a uphill Herculean writing standpoint, it makes it compelling, because you're like, how is she, after everything we've seen, going to be able to handle this? So it's a really interesting setup.
I noticed when I was watching it that the reason that, I don't know if this is like jumping ahead just a teensy bit, but when the bowling alley fight, when Jasmine's like, we're going to go basically like kill all the demons. We're going to make the world great again. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Make the world great again.
You said the thing.
Kill me. The bowling alley fight where they go to the bowling alley, and the reason that Fred is even in a position to become the one who will be Jasmine's downfall is because Fred is the weakest. And so while everyone else is physically fighting, she's seated next to Jasmine and they're talking about her name. And it's the action then comes and like she gets blood on her from, so like she's only in that position because she can't actually fight. She's go sit next to. I do love the direction of that, of the two of them seated in the bowling alley, and then when it pulls out to the wide and people just fighting around them off. Like, I love that's a really great shot. But
It is a good shot, and I think also they like. I'm always amazed that Angel seemed to have a bigger budget than Buffy, because I feel like Buffy would not have had the budget for this set, this shot, the way it's done. Like, right? Like, Buffy never had like a big new set that was just one.
I could be wrong, but that bowling alley, I think, is the same bowling alley from Grease 2 and Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. It is a bowling alley out in Montrose here in Los Angeles. I've been there myself, which is why I was like, oh, I know that place. But it's just damaged enough that the set could be like a nice replica of. But to your point, Ian, I don't know that they had the money to rebuild a bowling alley to that extent.
I guess it seems like Angel's production was more likely to like go on location or use like stock film sets and stuff, whereas Buffy seemed very confined to their soundstage. I know the difference.
Well, I think it's probably the great thing about Angel being set in LA is they could go out and shoot in LA. Now, a lot of the stuff that happens on the city streets is just the urban landscape of the Universal backlot. Like, those are all those buildings. But every now and then you'll see something, and it's just kind of, it's funny. Like when they're in the bowling alley, but then they leave, and it's the exterior by the fountain. Those are two very different places. Like that's clearly on a studio lot somewhere where someone like put up a poster that's like Los Feliz Bowl, you know.
And I just Googled it, and you are correct. That is the bowling alley that they used.
Great.
I'm always interested in
there.
that. And Michael, you always know, I feel like you're so good at that shit. And I'm always interested, like, when it's a place that's real, but it is a reused, like, place. Like, what's that house in LA that, like, was the exterior for the X-Men mansion, but, like, 35 other...
Oh, Greystone Mansion. Yeah, it's great. I've been there too, and it is a really cool location because they used it for so much. It's like up on the hill. It's the house from New Dark Shadows. It's, you know,
watching me and my husband were watching Beverly Hills 90210 for the first time and seeing all those exterior shots, being like, this is Sunnydale. This is so weird. It's the same. And also because like Emma Caulfield is there sometimes. Yeah. But no, is she in the college seasons? No, she's in the high school seasons.
I know she works for the newspaper, but I don't remember.
Okay, right. Yeah, she's in the high. Yeah. So it's also like, and she's great on the show. Great. Yeah. She's really good.
Yeah, Michael, a friend of mine, when I went to LA with him, actually was like, do you want to go tour that set? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And we went there, and we were the only people there. It was very weird. You just walk around, and it's
park your car and walk around. It's very, it's
huge.
Big. It's yeah.
All right. So, I want to point out that I do, when they're all bowing, I like that Fred is the last one, and I like her saying, I'm just gonna do this, and then just bows with everyone else or kneels. I want to talk about this a little bit. In the last episode, they connect the dots real quickly. They're like, oh yeah, this led to this, led to this, led to this. Oh, Skip is telling us all this happened for a reason. And I pulled everyone there, and I'm going to pull you both. I smell bullshit. That all feels like a total rewrite, that any of that was connected, right?
100%. I mean, just even thinking about the structure of a television writer's room, even the most prepared creator was not planning out 4 seasons in advance something like this, because shows like Angel and Buffy, frankly, at this point in time, were tenuously renewed every time. Yeah. So there was no way that they plotted out 4 seasons. And I think anybody who was watching television at this time, they learned their lesson thanks to J.J. Abrams. Like, not calling out your shit, J.J., but I watched Alias long before Lost happened. And I remember for seasons, Alias was like, we have a plan. And then at some point in season 4 of Alias, you could see the writers be like, oh shit, we're still here. And so now we have to pretend like we have a plan. Now, I love all of it. I think that show is like some quality cheese and a good time. But then when Lost came out, they're like, we have it all mapped out. I'm like, you do not. I've been through this. I have seen this with Sydney Bristow, and you are lying to me.
Now, when I was watching this when I was like 18, I was like, oh my God. Like, I totally was like, this is some Chris Claremont, like, long-term plot. Oh my. But yeah, now watching it, like when Jasmine says, like, you and Darla, I brought you together, a vampire with a soul. That hit me of like, oh, that cheapens so much. Like
Right.
that is
Yeah.
such a,
That's so
like it just
because
makes, it makes
I
a
don't
good storyline because like however much Connor sucks, the Darla Angel stuff
is
was
good.
really interesting. And that kind of just like, oh.
That's what I was gonna say, because I don't want to make clear, I don't mind, like Buffy has done that where they've been like, oh yeah, that like through line of like in Restless, how a lot of stuff connected, like they say the shark on land, and then in Tabula Rasa there is the like lone shark. Stuff like that I like, where it's like, yeah, let's fit it in as a nice nod. That is fun.
Yeah.
I don't like when we pretend. Like this just feels so obviously not that like, I don't know, it bothers me because I don't mind if a show connects things in a
Well,
way.
and speaking as someone who's written episodic, that's just kind of the nature of the beast sometimes. Like, I think that you figure it out as you go. And often it's not like malicious or even hacky. It's sort of just the evolution of the story you're telling, where it's like, oh, I'm writing this. And now that I'm here, wouldn't it be crazy if we connected it back? But I do think there's a finesse to it. You can't just like introduce a sentence. You have to kind of like put it more in. I always think about how in, I think it's season 5 of Charmed, when Drew Fuller shows up as Chris, there's a whole half season where they're like, who is this? And then he's revealed to be like Piper's child from the future. And everyone's like, that was the plan. I'm like, but it wasn't, because he was being kind of sexy with the ants, because you guys didn't know that he was going to be the kid until you decided he was going to be the kid. So that's fine, but you got to go back and do the work and write. And I think that, to Brett's point, just to say that about Angel and Darla cheapens it, because there was not like pre-work. If they knew they were going there with this season, they could have started seeding that episodes before Jasmine got here. We're like, maybe everything to this point has been the machinations. Something, instead of just having Gina Torres be like, "Pow, I'm here," and guess what?
Here's
Yeah, I think you're both like exactly nailing why it bothers me. Because yeah, if it's like you can do it well, like you said, Michael, you've written stuff where it's like you do have to write it in there, and it's very clearly not
also
there.
Like, what is there a version where like Jasmine doesn't give that exposition dump at all? Because like why? But over the course of the rest of the season, like Wesley, Fred, like they all piece together something, but they never know for sure. Like if the show doesn't present it as this is fact, like just Wesley offhand being like, I don't know, maybe if Jasmine's a god, maybe like she brought you and Darla together. I don't know. And we don't ever have to know if that's real or not. Like, I don't like, there's something to the like, leave it to where we can pick. I mean, I'm not going to say spoiler alerts for other shows, but yeah, could be.
Yeah, no. And like, I mean, Michael, you mentioned Lost. I'm a big Lost girly, but that is always the biggest culprit of that, right? Like, no. We had it all. And it is, I love that show, but it is so clear they did not have it planned out.
And that's fine.
Yeah, and that's
you don't need to know everything.
Yes. That's, I think a lot of people, this sounds like shitty, but I feel like if you don't write, or you're not like, I don't know, like you two are TV experts, I feel like people like us are like, you don't need to pretend that it's planned out for me to be impressed. I can be impressed with good writing, right? Like we can be like, it was just written really well. That's why I love it. Not, wow, they clearly had it mapped out. Like,
I think there's a studio and network assumption that audiences want perfection. And the truth is, creativity is not perfect. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm the broken audience member, but I don't mind seeing the Scotch tape as long as I'm having a good time.
Yes.
And I think that invariably the humanity of it and the slight messiness of something makes it better. And it's just, rather than trying to shoehorn something in with notes, you can have the messy storyline, but just work on it a little more. And like, I'm like, oh, with the Scotch tape, this that didn't exist before, you're now trying to attach, but like you're doing it in a way that I'm charmed by. But unfortunately, to the point that we're making, is this was just sort of, well, Brett, you said it's an exposition dump, and it is. She just kind of like pops up and she's like, well, now that I'm here, guess what? You all love muffins because I planned that,
muffins are my idea. Yeah, it is that. So we get the fight, the bowling alley. I talked about that. Jasmine says, this is where Jasmine says that she doesn't have a name. She says something I wrote it down, but I don't think it's a direct quote. Like even old ones, what is it? The worshippers have to give them their names, something like that. They go outside, like you said. Then it's very clearly a set. They go outside. There's like that. Every outside scene of Angel loves to have a weird, poorly constructed outside restaurant, cafe, bistro scene. It's just there.
This wild assumption that people in LA are just constantly eating outside, by the way.
I'm like, I have been to LA. I sit inside a lot.
Yeah.
Do we
It's
see
hot. It's like 95 degrees right now. I don't want to sit outside.
No, I don't want to be sweating while I'm eating. And I feel like in New York that happens a lot too, right, Brett? Where people do like want to be like, "Ooh, let's be outside." I'm like, "No, it's too fucking hot." Like,
Oh yeah. It's like, please give me air conditioning.
yeah. I'm always a brat. Like when we would go to brunch in the summer, I'd be like, "No, I want to sit inside in the AC because it's too hot and there are bugs outside." So I want to
Exactly
inside.
Oh, and the humidity in New York, forget about it.
Oof, yeah. I rewound this. I only did once, but do we see Jasmine like bump into that dude who can see her? The dude that like grabs a knife to kill her?
You mean Darth Maul?
Wait, is that him?
Yeah, that's Sam Witwer who voiced Darth Maul on the Clone Wars. But he later becomes a vampire and being human.
Oh, really? Oh, wait, is that him?
Yeah, just with like 2000s hair.
Yeah.
I have the episode up on my screen. I'm like literally rewinding it now to try to see if, oh yeah. Huh. God, is that a wig, do you think? That hair is awful. Yeah,
I don't know.
him.
I mean,
you're right.
It just looks to me like he is on his way to Warped Tour. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Excuse me, as someone who was on their way to Warped Tour in this era, I did not have that hair.
But you knew a lot of people who did.
Yeah, fair.
Because I went to a lot of punk shows too, Ian. You can't tell me that hair did not exist.
I can't believe I fully missed that was that guy. He's the guy that He's the guy that was on Riverdale and played a teacher and died. And the only reason I know this is because he gave a really mean exit interview about hating Riverdale.
Yeah, he jumps out the window.
Mm-hmm. And he said he had no idea why that was what his character did. Which I feel like isn't that uncommon though, right, Michael?
What, teachers jumping out the window?
No, I mean like not actually knowing why your character did a thing.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of shows don't tell you. Also, I think I've talked about this on Slayerfest before, but I unabashedly love Riverdale because I think it's crazy town. It is not necessarily always the best constructed show, but because from week to week you can see the cast being like, I guess we're doing this, and that amuses me. And so that's the thing where, like, by that point, I believe that's season 4 of Riverdale. Yeah. They knew that, like, expect the unexpected, because it'd just be like, okay, well, this week Jason Blossom's dead, and now this week Cheryl's a witch. Like, you know,
I can remember seeing the like trailer for the episode where she's like Scarlet Witch, and I was like, what happened on the show? Because I watched like season 1 and like half of 2 before it was like full on bonkers every week's changing. Another side note, I think it was Beck Shaw wrote like the funniest fucking like article about like all the things that happen every season in Riverdale, and it was like recaps for every season for someone trying to catch up for the finale, and like it made me laugh so hard, and she wasn't even trying to be that funny. It was just like, this is what happens. It's stupid. Yeah. I loved it.
One of my favorite press junket moments, and I don't know if she meant it to be shady, but it was really fucking funny, is they were talking to the cast for whatever season it was, and they asked Lily Reinhart if Betty was still a cheerleader. And Lily Reinhart's like, I don't know. If Roberta wants me to be this week, I guess I am. Like, because they hadn't addressed it in so long. And that to me, like, encapsulated, like, they're just all like, when the pages come, this is what we're doing.
I do appreciate someone who is like, sure, whatever. Like,
you're getting paid.
We talked about this, I think, yesterday in yesterday's recording, how like you said, Brett, it's your job. It's just it's a paycheck. It's not. I appreciate someone who really like loves what they're doing, but also sometimes it's like, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm showing up. This is work. And I feel like people sometimes like fans online don't like that, but I can respect that, right?
I think that also it's good perspective to have that at the end of the day, as invested as we are and as impactful as this art is to us as viewer and creator, it's like we get to play make believe, we get to watch
Yeah.
make believe, and we get to invest in make believe. It's not that serious. I had a meeting with a young filmmaker recently who was asking for advice about like doing his indie film, and I was like, look, just go make the movie. And what's the worst that happens? You make a bad movie? Who fucking cares? So what? You still made a movie. And the truth is, like, you learn more from doing the thing than not doing the thing. And if you make a bad movie, the world moves on and you can go make another one or you tell another story. It's like, whatever. Like, people who show up and just know that this is fun, have fun. And the content of the stories are impactful, yes, and that's what keeps us coming back for more. But yeah, if Lily Reinhart's like, sure, let's go, that just makes me like her, you know.
Same, yeah. I appreciate that as someone who's just like, like I said, I told you all before we started. I interviewed Christine Sutherland, and when I asked her about coming back as the first, she was like, "Oh, I had no idea what I was doing. They gave me that nice little white dress. I put it on, and I was Joyce." And like, she didn't say it being shady. She just had no idea what was going on, and it didn't matter to her. Which,
Yeah,
like,
it's just like a good day on set.
yeah, yeah. Oh, sure, a paycheck. Sure, I'll come back. I put it in my notes that they talk about the smell of jasmine. Do they name her here?
Yeah.
Do they? Is that when she like takes on the name of Jasmine?
She smells it again in the hotel, right? She's like, "What's that?
Yeah.
That's her
Yeah.
smell again, Jasmine." And then that she takes that name.
She appoints Angel her general. That's important, I guess.
And then and generals are supposed to wear really bad pastel button-down shirts.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
the
Jasmine took
military uniform.
I was thinking, like, did Jasmine take everyone to Tommy Bahama? Was that what happened here?
Like, God, it's so bad. Yeah, it's very like a structure. You know,
Yes,
remember
yes,
oh my
structure
God,
on the
you're
mall?
so right.
yes.
Yeah.
I like it for that reason. That's like one of the things I do like is like, all right, if we're going full cult, sure. Put them in like
Yeah.
ugly white and yellow clothes, because yeah, sure.
He's wearing like a tuxedo shirt in the last shot. Like it's like it's
Yeah.
got it's very strange.
So we get, yeah, they're all fighting. There's the voiceover. She says, what is it? Like they see the news. Is that what it is? Like there's like a news report.
Crime's gone down.
I actually kind of like what Lauren wears. I know we were like making fun of it, but I like him in the yellow. And is it now that Fred, because she comes down, she's like, wash the blood out of the shirt, right? She was so upset because she felt she was the reason that Jasmine got blood on her shirt.
She's trying to wash it out. She like, and there's also the joke of when Wesley and Gunn are coming up with names, and Gunn's like Helen, and then Wesley's like super long name that has some sort of historical meaning. And then Fred just goes Clorox. And they're like, well, we should probably avoid brand names. And, and she was like, no, like I'm trying to get this blood out because, and then she ultimately like comes and shows them like, look, can you tell? And they're like, oh no, it looks brand new. She's like, it is brand new. I couldn't fix it. Like, yeah. And then I think that's when she goes upstairs and then she gets the reveal of a lifetime gag on Jasmine's real eleganza.
Oh, right. It's not that she's like snapped out of it. She's not snapped out of it till she sees her. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think first off, I was just thinking about the timeline of this episode, and usually how we have these discussions here on the show where we go through the beats scene by scene, but to the point that we made at the very beginning, not a lot happens. Like we're almost at the end of this episode, and it's basically like Jasmine shows up, everybody's like whipped up into a tizzy about it. Fred goes to Contempo Casual and gets a new shirt. And then now Jasmine's revealed to have maggot face.
This is one of those Angel moments that has stuck with me forever. I think it is for a storyline that is like, and in a season that is, this like gag. Like I still think like that reveal and the way it's executed is like perfect.
It's great. And I think from a horror standpoint, Ian, what's really cool about this is whoever was sort of behind the construction of this moment, clearly like watches a lot of different things. And I was really thinking about specifically, I mentioned Fulci's Zombie earlier, but there was this cycle of films that Lucio Fulci did in the 70s into the 80s that were about gates to hell. And there are different movies like House by the Cemetery, City of the Dead, and then some of these others, The Beyond. And there's always this thing when someone sees somebody who has been sort of corrupted by demonic presence, where their faces are actually rotting and dripping with like goo, and the bugs are in there. And for Fred to look at this and see that, I'm just like, okay, someone's literally referring to the fact that under this divine being, there's something truly hellish.
Yeah.
It's really great, and it sort of speaks, of course, to everything we've been talking about with the cult, where things are nice on the surface, but it's rotted underneath, like just under the surface. And I think that that's really, it's a hat on a hat. Like they really are like, just so you know, this is what we're doing. But it's so visceral, it works.
Yeah. Okay. I like the idea, but it looks so goofy to me. I don't know. It like the way
As
the face
opposed to so many monsters in this show.
I know.
Okay.
But we just had the Beast, who was a really cool monster all season.
That's true.
It's the way the face moves. It moves like a Muppet to me. Like it's like like it looks like someone's
imagine if you're watching it on an SD
I know,
TV.
I know.
Yeah. Well, and also I think the fact that they don't, it is comparatively like quick.
Yeah.
They show it twice, I think.
I think so.
But the fact that it doesn't become her default face for Fred, like,
Yeah,
it's one of those like, oh, wait, what? Yeah, it's good that they don't overdo it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do think you're both right. Like that does make it. I do remember that. Like a lot of season 4 is what I remember. Like 4 and 5 I can remember watching them live for Angel. And I do remember that being a big like, oh, like I do remember the like jump. And like you said, we're watching on like the WB on a shitty box TV. So like, and now we have the benefit of being able to pause and look at where the maggots are dripping out of.
Yeah.
I do remember. That's like the thing I remember most, aside from hating Jasmine, is the like that like jump scare reveal. Because I feel like Angel didn't always lean into the horror that much. But this feels...
Which is surprising when you think about it. It feels coded towards horror, but...
Yeah. Because I feel like this season, maybe more so than other seasons with like the Beast, like monster movie horror, and like the Wolfram and Hart, everyone being like
the
murdered.
chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lila's death was very...
Yeah, like those feel more horror-y than the show had gotten. Fred then screams, leaves, says she's gonna go do something, goes to talk to Cordelia, and Angel, in his Tommy Bahama shirt, comes in to talk to her. And is this when she goes? Yeah, right. She goes to see the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where my favorite thing in all of Angel appears. And it is Fred's red jacket, baby, with that white piping.
It is cute.
That is iconic. I don't know, like that look just, and I think it is up there with Buffy's iridescent blue becoming jacket. Like it very much says Fred is going to be the main character of the next episode and a half. She cannot be wearing her usual mousy, like flowy, like, blousey tops and like American Eagle jeans or whatever. We have to give her something that looks badass, but a Fred version of badass. And it is that cool red jacket with the epaulets and the white piping. And that just has always like, I remember, as I am also an artist, drawing whatever character I was drawing at that time, I gave that jacket to. So I remember like drawing that jacket a lot. I don't know. So like, I just like, when I saw that jacket, I was like, yes, I love that jacket.
Good jacket. That you love it so much.
It is one of the things about Angel that has always stuck with me is Fred's iconic red jacket.
Brett's favorite outfit's gonna be.
Yeah. Spoiler. So she goes to talk to the dude from Being Human. his face has been like
turtleified. He's a half a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
He's very melty turtle face.
Um,
But why did that happen to him? Does that start happening to Fred next? That doesn't.
I have the same question.
I don't remember.
He saw, I'm assuming he saw Jasmine because he got the blood from the bowling alley injury. He got it on him at that bistro, I assume. And that's
Somehow,
why
yeah.
he could see her and then tried to kill her. So why did he start turning into a frog human?
Doesn't he say that she touched him? Is that what? I don't know.
But she's touched a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Like
You're
physically.
right. You're right. It's the side of his face Jasmine touched has become grotesquely I'm looking at the trivia. Yeah.
Oh.
But like,
Is
yeah,
she not touching people? I feel like she's touching
But
Just
everyone.
not-
emotionally.
but not people that have like seen the real her.
Yeah.
And
So,
this
like-
doesn't start happening to Fred.
Because she doesn't remember Fred, like once she sees her, she like rushes out to be like, oh, I have to go do something, and then goes to talk to Cordelia.
Yeah.
So like she had been touched before.
Oh, see,
but
now
not-
my writer brain is being like, oh, like in terms of that's a good survival mechanism because someone sees your real face. It's like, oh, they can now clock me. But if I touch them, they now become a mutated monster thing, and therefore they're not like you wouldn't believe that thing. So
Yeah,
like that's
you're not
kind
going to
of
believe the
right.
Toxic Avenger. Like-
biology. Yeah. It's really crazy that I don't think that is actually what they were intending, and I don't think that ever comes up. And like,
I mean, it probably doesn't.
does Fred like try to avoid
I
getting
would believe the
touched?
Toxic Avenger.
So she talks to this guy. He's kind of gone nuts, right? Like he's kind of lost
He's
it.
very much like you're one of the chosen. So like, yeah, it is hard to believe
Yeah.
the poor guy.
Yeah.
She goes back to the hotel.
Hotel, and we're having like a Jasmine con, I guess.
Yeah.
Jasmine Con. Yeah, we are. She's like, the thing I'm wondering, which I don't remember, I didn't write down, is like it's spreading, but it hasn't like spread, right? Like it's not everywhere. Because I feel like
No,
in
I
an
guess,
episode-
People have to see her, right?
You have to
Is that how
see
that-
her. And a lot of
Right.
people
Yeah.
saw her at the bistro.
right.
So I guess they're all going home and like like we see that as Fred is walking back, like two women run past her and she's like, you gotta see Jasmine. So I guess it's kind of just like, and they tell two people, and they tell two people, and they, which is very shiny happy people. Yeah.
And I feel bad for
A
Fred
lot,
here.
a lot of people are willing to just go to this weird hotel. It's like, oh my God, my roommate will not shut up about the okay. But we're getting ice cream on the way back. If you're dragging me out
Right.
this late, we better be going to Sonic afterwards. Like,
Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm here with the goddess Jasmine. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? I feel bad for Fred. I feel, to your point, both of y'all, like earlier, where it's like we are stressing that she is the weakest, right? She's the one sitting next to Jasmine while people are fighting because she's not a fighter. And she tries to like confide in them. And
Right.
we know that's not going to work, but I understand why
Yeah.
she does.
yeah,
Right.
it's such a good. She tells Wesley.
Yeah.
Because of all of them, like Wesley should be the one who is, equally scientific, skeptical. And that whole thing of like Wesley feigns believing her, or like, oh, okay, let me. And then I honestly like the rest of this episode is the flip of this episode from going from a D plus to like an A minus. It's so interesting because like this from on is like so compelling to me. Like the slow burn of her watching Wesley go up, and it's like, oh no, and now he's talking to Jasmine, and seeing Fred like back into that and like get a crossbow. Fred grabs a crossbow and is just like, I guess I'm gonna try that. It's such a badass
So good.
move, and it's a really and then like having all that propel is so her grabbing Lauren, like things spiral out of hand so quickly, and it's like, oh, finally the episode is doing something.
Yeah. Yes. I think that is my problem with this as well. Yeah. It's like, what are we doing? And then we're doing stuff, but it's like the last like 5-10 minutes we're doing
Yeah.
shit. I can remember again watching this and being like, oh, I don't love this, but I feel bad for Fred because like And I think that, I mean, we mentioned horror earlier. That almost leans in a little bit more horror, right? Because it's like she's kind of the final girl in this situation, and like,
yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
she's
it's
also the
very
weakest.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Absolutely.
Like that's what,
Yeah.
and the, you know, not to jump ahead, but like the last scene of the episode of her being in the diner as Jasmine's now on local LA news and everyone, and like that scene of her walking out. I mean, it's also very blip coded. If we want
Yeah.
to talk, but like that, it's very Twilight Zone. It's so
It truly
haunting and
is.
it's very effective. And Amy Acker during this entire sequence is just like the manic panic that she has over getting the blood on the cardigan and trying to clean it, and then switching to the horror, and then switching to the like resolve of like, I guess I gotta do that. Like she is really just eating this entire episode. I love
she's great.
her performance.
Yeah, like positioning Fred as the one that does have to solve this, right? Like that's
Right.
And I kind of also like, I mean, I almost wish we had gotten this just because it would make sense, and not to be like that comic book person that's like, why aren't the Avengers here? I wish we could have gotten like she tries calling Willow and no one answers because they are dealing with their apocalypse.
Mhm.
Only because
Right.
it's like, well, she knew to call her before when they needed help.
Right.
Because I do think that adds to the like, oh shitness of it, that it's just Fred. And we know she's super smart, but she's just not a fighter, and that's fine. But like, what the hell is she gonna do? Right? Like, and I really like that.
But it's an interesting conceit
Where if she calls them, if they see Jasmine, they're already lost,
fuck.
right?
That's true. Yeah.
And I think that that's what really makes Fred so othered in this. Is it's not like Angel becoming Angelus. It's not like needing to break Faith out of prison. It's like she is truly alone, because even if she can convince somebody to believe her, once they visualize Jasmine, that's it. And I think that that's like truly a really interesting bit of horror, because you know it's this thing where nobody's impervious to it. Everybody is able to be absorbed by it, and it's that kind of thing where it's like, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean you're incorrect. And Fred's correct, but like the world's working against her. So,
and
That's
also
true.
like of all of them, the show has done a good I don't know if it's a good job, but like Fred is also the most precarious character. She's like the one who we saw her trauma, like we met her in Pylea, like we know, and then the show, like she did not recover from that trauma
Right.
for
Right.
a very long time.
Understandably so. Yeah.
Justifiably so. But like, you know, Angel spent however many 100 years in a hell dimension between season 2 and 3. He got over that pretty fast. You know? So it also like makes us even more sympathetic to Fred. Like we know how breakable she is, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, again, and also I love that she doesn't immediately turn into a Sarah Connor, you know?
Yeah.
She, when she holds that crossbow, she does not look like a badass.
Scared,
And
yeah.
at the end of the episode, so like it makes Fred one of the more, I think this is where like Illyria does not have any emotional punch if we don't have this Fred arc. Because I think
agree.
this is the arc where I really fell in love with Amy Acker and that character. I think like yeah, right. Is this the arc? Because I'm like trying to remember, was she cool before this?
I think this is like they gave her like a moment, but then she'd always revert back. But like, this is like, because I do feel like after this, in season 5, before we get Illyria, she's a lot more confident. And this makes sense that after this she would be, right? Like,
Yeah.
But also like looking at the grand scheme of her character, this is coming so late. Like we've spent almost 2 seasons with kind of like shell-shocked, you know, I don't know who I like. Do I like Wesley? Do I like God? Oh God.
if she were not portrayed by Amy Acker, there's no way I would have ever liked Fred, I think, because there is a lot of that where I'm like, they are making her just the damsel. And then like, oh, I don't know. I'm so smart, but I don't know who I like. And it's like, fucking land the plane,
Yeah.
pick a lane, do something. And then after this, they do that with her. She's
And
like confident.
this is such a great choice for her. I would honestly like to. This is one of the things like forget all the other did they know it when, like, did they always plan for this to be Fred's arc? Like, when did this occur to them?
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly what that character needed, and it's so well done.
Because season 5 is my favorite season of Angel, but I can remember being like, oh, I like Fred a lot more here. Like, I think she's like the head of the science department, right? So it's like, if you're in charge, you have to be a little bit more confident, and they allow her to be that. And I think character-wise, it stems from here, where she has to figure out she has to plan everything, right? Like she has to figure out how to save the fucking day, like against people with superpowers and super strength, when like she's just smart. So yeah, I do like that. All right, well, I guess we're at the end. Favorite. Brett, what is your favorite outfit of the episode?
I really love that Pier 1 Imports looking cardigan. Honestly, like, that jacket is iconic, and I'm truly gagged that y'all aren't like.
I like
it.
It is my favorite outfit.
Come on, put some respect on it. It's the definitive Fred look. Definitive Fred.
It is my favorite outfit of the episode, because I like a little like light 70s, 80s influence on a outfit that still can like present as present day fashion.
Yeah, and because of that, it looks current, as opposed to all this other like TLC home reno show bullshit that everyone else is wearing.
Angel, season 5 is when I think the fashion also gets better on Angel, because they do a lot of drab fashion. Cordelia is the only one that they bothered with, it felt like sometimes, but even with her, especially once we get to like season 3, it feels
once she
like
gets the Karen Bob.
Kate Gosselin. Michael, is yours? What's your favorite outfit? Is it the same one?
Well, it's funny because the cardigan, I think, is the definitive outfit of the episode, but it's not great. But we spend so much time having to deal with cleaning stains out of it and such. I actually do like Lauren's post-Jasmine outfit, because I think we often forget that Lauren is supposed to be Vegas schmaltzy.
Yeah.
But there's a certain point where they start putting him in like muted tan outfits. And it's like, this sort of lets Lauren be Siegfried and Roy again, just for a minute,
Yeah, I think that's correct. Favorite scene, Michael?
Favorite scene? Well, I mean, it has to be Fred taking agency at Jasmine Con, grabbing the crossbow, because it just really escalates the danger that she's in, but also that our other friends are in. They just don't know it because they're under the thrall of this thing. And I think that Brett compared it to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It is such the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, with the pointing and the like, there she is, I think that this is really good paranoia horror. It's a great moment.
Yeah. Brett?
Mine is the very last scene, and I'm thinking about it, of Fred alone in the diner. And what I just realized they do in that scene is, like, it opens with like the diner, the cook, the chef at the diner, like, hands her whatever, and he's like, "You look like you lost a friend." She's like, "I lost all of it," and then she starts like going into more detail, and the guy's just like just walks away, like he's like, and like that illustrates it. Like, man, like they don't even have to be Jasmine cult members to just not give a shit about Fred.
Yeah.
Like, even just like normal like she is going to have a hard time just going up to literal like anyone.
Yeah.
Because she's a mousy woman, in this hard LA world, man. It's just such a great, and then just like the pull out shot. And then as it's pulling out and you see a guy walking and he like looks in the mirror, the window, and sees Jasmine, you can see him like drop his shopping bags or whatever. And like, it's such a good touch. Like, I was kind of thinking like, if there was a bigger budget, you would have seen like a car wreck or something.
Yeah.
Like, you would have seen more catastrophe. But like, it still implies that. It's so well done. And I just it's so good.
All right. Mine is Fred calling out Jasmine at the hotel. That's my favorite. What grade do we give this episode, Michael?
I think this is a B. I think that it has like the pacing issues we discussed, but it recovers in the end with some truly solid moments for Fred, and also sets up the rest of the season in a way that I really enjoy. So can't be mad at that.
Right.
Oh, man, like, I want to say C plus, but I might go B minus. Like, it is that thing of like the fact that it ends so strong kind of makes you forget kind of like what a boring slog the first 2/3 of it is. Bowling Alley fight aside, like I think that was really well staged and really well done. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go B minus. I'll be nice.
All right. I go a flat C.
That's fair.
Okay.
Only because that end. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for listening. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can watch our video recordings, because all of our episodes are video recordings, on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, give us a good rating, helps get the podcast out there. If you want to support us, we are on Patreon, where we have been going through every episode of Buffy as it turns 25, and we're in season 5, which makes me feel so old every time I say it. We also are going through X-Men the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series, when we're not releasing Buffy episodes. Just started a book club. Lots of things. Any and all support is much appreciated. If you want to follow us on social, we're at SlayerFestX98. If you want to follow me, I'm at IanXCarlos. Brett, where can everyone find you and your writing and your site that I write for too?
Oh yeah, go to popheist.com, which is worker owned, worker funded, or reader funded, well also worker funded right now. But please subscribe and not rolled by the algorithm, no SEO, no CEOs, and just whatever people want to do. We got a lot of really great recaps there. Including Hannibal. We have Matthew Jackson's going through Hannibal right now. Shanti Collins is going through Twin Peaks. Like a lot of fun stuff that no other website would want, because it isn't about current TV.
Yes. Michael, where can everyone find you and your podcast?
You can find me at Michael Varrati on Instagram and Blue Sky. Also, you can check out Midnight Mass, the show that I co-host with drag icon Peaches Christ every other Wednesday at midnight. Yes, that's in the title. Wherein we cover your favorite cult films and ours.
All right, cool. We will see you all next time. Bye.